There is something special inside you.
Welcome to GNG Podcast with your host, speaker, best-selling author, Chaz Jackson.
Here we go. What's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Chaz Jackson coming back to you once again, representing GNG Gift in the Gift. And I want each and every one of you to be able to resonate. And we just want to thank each and every one of you for giving us your eyes and your ears once again. It's great to dive deep into some inspiration that I pray will plant like a seed in your mind and assist you in becoming a greater version of yourselves. So, man, this is going to be an amazing treat tonight, kings and queens. I'm going to go ahead. Normally, I'll say get your pen and paper and make it be optional, but this is mandatory here. You guys, if you don't get a pen and paper, hey, you're going to have to go ahead and click off this because there's too much value here. It's too much blood, sweat, and tears is going to be on this episode as we got my man, the passionate visionary, Chip Baker, along with the co-authors of The Impact of Influence, as we continue to grow and apply influence for each and every one of you. So again, this is going to be phenomenal. Hey man, I'm ready to get it. Are you guys ready to get it?
Yes, sir. Get it, baby.
Go get it.
Yes, sir.
Go
get it.
Go.
Get it. My man Chip. So before I even dive in, I want to just kind of go around and let you guys introduce yourself, tell the audience where you're from, and also cover what was your greatest lesson that you learned through this whole process of writing this book or writing your chapter in The Impact of Influence. And before I turn it over to you guys, I just want to go over the mission of this platform. And the mission of this platform is to provide tips and techniques for young men as they strive to grow in personal development. And I take this daily challenge. I want to encourage everybody that's listening to me to take this daily challenge with me of becoming a passionate visionary who is determined to leave a legacy for themselves by adopting unwavering life values and serving others in an area of gifting led by God. So that's the daily challenge I'm taking. I want to encourage you to take that daily challenge with me. Kings and queens is listening in right now. I already know these giants are taking that daily challenge as they are impacting in their lanes and again, sharing their gifts with the world. But man, I got my man Anthony up top here. So just share, who you are, where you're from, and your greatest lesson that you learned thus far on this journey with the impact of influence.
Man, I'm Anthony McCauley coming to you live from Pinehurst, North Carolina. I am on here on The Impact of Influence. And the greatest thing I've learned on this journey was to be myself, that my story matters. It doesn't matter where I've come from. It matters where I'm going. The past doesn't define my future. And Mr. Brother Jack, you mentioned the young men. I want all the young men out there to know that you fall down, but you got to get back up. So the greatest thing I've learned on this journey, number one was Chip Baker took an interest in me. Man, Chip, man, I'm telling you, man, to be a part of what this visionary has put together and to meet every man that's on this platform, I'm honored, man. And the impact of influence has definitely changed my life. What I've learned on this journey is my story matters. And it's a pleasure to be here, Chaz. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to be with you. And I guess my man Victor, you up top. Can you go for us?
Hey, I'll take it. First, Chaz, thank you. What a great opportunity. I've done a couple calls now, and you talk about the journey. I don't think it ended when we wrote. I think every time we get together and have a phone call, that journey's just continuing. I know DP made a comment last week, and it is sitting right here on my computer in big, bold letters. I taped it. He said, "Love out loud." And I'm telling you, that just resonated with me. And so my journey hasn't ended, but I will tell you in the writing process, vulnerability, opening up and really breaking myself down because I think the problem so many people have is they write what they think you want them to hear. And that's not real. You've got to understand that what you have and the gift you have, it's a privilege to carry that in your heart, in your words, in your mind. And when you put that down on paper, you have an obligation to be vulnerable, to be honest, and to speak the truth to people. Because if you truly influence, the only way to do it is by trust. And we're earning that trust every time we get together. And it's not just us helping people with the impact of influence. I'm influenced by every single one of you, every opportunity we get to talk. And, you know, I'm down here in San Antonio, Texas, not too far from Chip, not too far from a couple of guys in Houston. But I'm telling you, what scares me is when we all get together live, because I think that's going to be epic, because there's so many people that will benefit. Like, in my mind, I keep saying 1/16. I am 1/16 of the knowledge that is within this book, this project, this passion project that Chip has put together. Well, if I'm 1/16, can you imagine the person who's watching, who's able to get 16 different viewpoints? If they don't walk out of there a new person and inspired with goals through the roof, they weren't listening. They weren't listening. So, hey, Chip, I'm going to say it again. There's LinkedIn and there's Chipped In, and I am blessed to be chipped in.
Chipped in.
Damn. That's it. And this hearing you and Anthony Victor talk about, you know, your story and building trust, it just made me think of Maya Angelou. She says a quote before I pass it on to my man Chip. Guys calling me to say this, but she said there is no greater agony meaning mental suffering, than the bearing of an untold story inside of you. And you mentioned these 16 stories of impact, of influence, that whoever's listening to us, you can get this value, these gems, these golden nuggets, and take that tip of technique and apply it to your life. That is a game changer if you're willing to take that daily challenge of becoming a greater version of yourselves. And gosh, man, I am so excited to pour even more into each and every one of these giants chapter and learn how I can apply it to my own life. So that's really good stuff.
I tell people, if you don't want to hear what I have to say, go after the 15 others. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man, between all of us, man, you're going to resonate with something, I'll guarantee.
I told Chip, as long as I'm not chapter 17, we're good.
It's awesome, man.
All right, my man Chip.
Well, Chaz, man, first off, thanks so much for having us on your platform. I truly appreciate the opportunity, man. Appreciate what you do and how you do what you do. So thanks for that. Secondly, thanks so much for being a part of this project. You know, I highly respect, you know, what you do as every single one of the men that's involved in this project. Just great men with great hearts, giving great effort, doing great things, you know, every one of them. And so, man, I'm just thankful to be a part of that. And so that goes into saying I'm Chip Baker, educator, Chip Baker, the Success Chronicles author, but I'm in Conroe, Texas, which is north of Houston. And, you know, going into what, you know, I've learned from this process, man, this journey is, it ain't no limit. And when I say that, yeah, right. Come on.
Wait for somebody to do that.
Nah.
I had to go there. You know I had to go there.
Hey, the round out the tank. No. And I could have said, it's not any limits. You know, no. I said it how I meant it. It ain't no limit. Right. And what I mean by that is, man, every one of these guys are just, like I said, great guys that do amazing things. And, you know, I was talking with Woods earlier today, and we were talking about how, man, the beauty of what's going to come out of this, it's going to change the world, man. You know, just, you know, each one of us, you know, that whole theory of addition versus multiplication, you know, each one of us already adds great value to the world, right? You know, all of us. But then now you put us together, now the value that we add, it multiplies, right? And so now it puts more out there. And then, bigger than that, we all get better by being around one another. And just, we were talking about this too. Like every time we get to do an interview together, we all get better. I mean, I can show you, this is just, I'll let you in on my little secret. I got a personal notebook of notes from when we interview. I had 5 pages last night. You know what I'm saying? And so, I think that's, on this journey there, it ain't no limit, no limit to what we can learn, no limit to the value that we can continue to add, no limit to the growth that we're going to have from this, no limit to the impact that we're going to make on the world and influence. So that's what I've learned on this journey, man.
Said, go get it.
Go get it, baby.
Yes, sir.
And you said better, not bitter. You said better.
Come on.
Bitter, better.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My man Derek, you up?
Oh, it's always I'm here in Lincoln, Nebraska, but I'm originally from just outside of DC in Arlington, Virginia, lived and worked in Charlotte, Salt Lake City, LA, Atlanta, and in Houston, right there in the Woodlands, right outside of Chip and Conroe. That's where me and Chip got together. But I'm currently in Lincoln, Nebraska, but from Arlington, Virginia, a nice blended town, a Black community called the Green Valley, where Roberta Flack and such grew up there and came through there. My journey has been this: as a college athlete, as a coach, high school coach, as a sportscaster, as a sports radio host now, I have to remember several things. And my mission is in this: when I see you and when I cross paths with you, I have to be present. And I got to pay attention to why the universe put you and me, whoever you are, in that intersect. And it wasn't random, it wasn't arbitrary. And if I'm present, I'm gonna get a chance to take this unlimited amount of love that I have in my space and put so much on you that when you leave, nothing else can stick. Nothing. And it's that way as a man, as a dad, as a coach, as an educator, as a boss, whatever that is, that it's my mission to cover whoever I care about and whoever I engage with so much in love that they know what love feels like. They know what it looks like. See, as a coach, we get in that huddle, we get in that space, and they know what love sounds like, and they know what love feels like, and they know what love entitles them to do. So when that other thing shows up, they go, nah, bro, this is not for me. This is not who I am. And so the mission is this: to cover each thing in love, so much that nothing else sticks. But remember that love requires action. You have to act on it. Loving a thing is not enough. It's good. It's not enough. Being active, there are a whole lot of people that are busy, but there's no love attached to it. See, money is not love. I get the money grind, but that's not how you're going to get this thing done for you. It's when you love and you action in it that you can have anything and everything you want, because those are the most important things that exist.
Dude, there's no better way of putting that. And that made me think of a Bible verse in 1 John. It talks about how we should love, not love with just words or tongue, but with action and in truth. And that action is what dictates our dreams, our goals, our ambitions, our gifts and talents of how we're going to put that out to the world. So I truly resonate with you guys and what you shared with that day, for sure.
There's depth in it. I'll go further and I'll go back to what some of you guys said. We're better every time we do this. We're grander every time we do this. We're all covered in love and expanding so much love when we're in these conversations. My favorite thing about sports is the huddle. It's the huddle. It's my favorite thing because it's where you get to regroup, reset, redirect, relearn, resolve, and then relove. And all of that, when we meet, we get back together and our players look at us, our coworkers work, our family looks at us, and we get together and we say, we're resetting the GPS. Here's what we're doing. And as Chip likes to say, let's go get it.
Get it, baby.
That's it. That's it. I think if we stand on that same road, my man Woods, you up.
Right. Appreciate you, Chaz. Appreciate you for having us this evening. It's always a pleasure to be a part of this great group of gentlemen. My name is Charles Woods, raised in Conroe, Texas. I reside now in Atascocita, suburbs right outside of Houston, Texas. From my book, going through this process and my chapter, not my book, our book, my chapter going through this process, I realized how important it was to me to surround myself with positive, good people. That I learned that formula for progress and happiness is just being around good, positive people. Man, that's so important. That's why I enjoy this so much. There's so much positive energy that comes from you guys, and like Victor said, when we get together, man, the energy that's gonna be in that room is gonna be amazing. What you say, Chip? Is gonna be bananas.
Bananas.
Boom. I love
Right.
the Chip to that boom, man.
Boom. Like you don't need to waste your time with any of the negativity, man, and being in those negative groups and just being involved in that negativity, man. That positive mindset is everything, you know, that positive mindset and just being around good people, man. That's what kind of resided for me for my chapter.
I appreciate you, boss, man. My man TP.
Yes, my name is Terrence Price, born and raised in Texas, currently reside in almost heaven, as we say up here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Man, just want to thank you, Chaz, for this opportunity and Chip as well, man. Quick story, man. I connected with Chip through a mutual friend when I was working with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Texas University. And, you know, a lot of people told me about great things about Chip, and went out and connected with him. And, man, just felt like, you know, we just grew up together, you know, just from that first conversation. And from that moment on, our families attended church together in College Station, and we just stayed in contact. And when I got the call to come to WU, one of the first people that I reached out to was Chip, because I just valued his wisdom and just his insight on things. And when he reached out to me about this book, I was almost like Brown off Medea. I was like, who, me? And 'cause I just knew just the connections and the people that God had brought across his path. And man, I'm just a kid from the country who loves God and loves people. And in my chapter, man, and it just came, I just wrote from my heart, and just shared experiences of, you know, a lot of people always talk about the promise and how they were to obtain their breakthrough or get to where the Lord had them, but nobody really talks about the process. And so I just share my heart about the process, and just 3 people who've been inspiration in my life, and to just let, you know, people know, whether, you know, you're a kid, you're a teenager, whether you're a senior citizen, middle age, whatever it may be, that there's no limits. You know, I always think there's a preacher, the late Reverend Clay Evans in Chicago. He was said, there's no secret what God can do, what he's done for others, he will do the same for you. And so just through this book, man, it just allowed me to really see more of who I am, and to also see more of who God is, and to just remind myself to not limit myself. And I think that's, you know, what I kind of wrote about in my book, in my chapter, I should say, not to limit yourself, and to realize that there are gifts and talents on the inside that some of us haven't even tapped into yet. But I believe that through us coming together, collaborating, in the spirit of unity, and I just think we should just pause for a couple of seconds, as we say in church, you know, just take like a praise break, because like how many of you know that men can come together from all different race backgrounds and can be on the same page in unity with positivity. You know, we ain't talking about, you know, going to mess with no girls or drinking or nothing like that. But I look at this because I was on the call last night and I couldn't even go to sleep last night. My wife would tell you I was up watching Columbo 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't fall asleep because I was just so hyped from the call. But I think it's just a blessing. It's a testament of just how God will lay a vision on somebody's heart and how he will just, direct them to connect with certain people to bring us all together from different backgrounds. And the thing about it is we all have a story, as Anthony says, that, and, our story, my story may not look like your story and your story may not look like mine, but we all have a story. And I believe us coming together with this book in a spirit of unity, man, we're going to be able to reach all different kinds of people. And but I'm just honored and elated to be on this project, and appreciate you, Chaz, and appreciate you, Chip.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My pleasure. My man, Mr. Me Too.
Me Too.
Going on, brother? How we doing?
Too.
Mr. Me Too. My name is Jamal Sylvester, and like everybody else, man, I'm so appreciative to Chip. I've been chipped in since the first day I met this guy. Anytime you can have somebody introduce you to somebody in your hometown that you need to know, he a bad dude, and he all the way in Houston. So I've been chipped in for a long time, man, and it's my brother from another mother. I'm thankful, as our relationship continues to grow, but I'm more thankful that he thought of me when God put this on his heart to do this compilation book. He know that I've been struggling, like Woods. I was struggling with the book, man, and man, Chip was like, you know what? But he's always thinking of how he can help somebody else, and he was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I got you. You just need to get started. And so let's start with a chapter. And he always tell me, send me texts, every now and again to encourage me. He asked me to write something for this. And so for me, I'm originally from Chicago, moved to Indiana, started playing basketball, was able to do some great things with basketball, did some not so great things too. And so my chapter is about not letting your past determine your future. I got a bachelor's degree in messing up. I got a master's in making excuses. I got a PhD in not being responsible. So, I feel like I have a right and I have a responsibility to talk to people and share my struggles, because I think sometimes, man, our past indicts us, and we allow people close to us and our friends and family to indict us as well. And we allow the thing that we did to incarcerate us, man, to keep us from achieving our future and the things that God has planned for us. And so, like everyone has said, man, I think that this amalgamation of stories of people who've gone through all of these different things, man, I think that it's the puzzle that a lot of people are looking for. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get that puzzle, it's 200 and some pieces, and you got that one piece missing. I think this book is that one piece missing in a whole bunch of people's lives, man. And we're going to unlock a lot of doors, a lot of set people free, man. So I'm glad to be a part of it. And thank you, Chaz, for having us on tonight.
Hey, Chaz, can I ask one thing of Jamal right quick? Man, can you hear them one time with the degrees? One more time with the degrees.
With the degrees?
Yeah, they didn't hear that good
just one more time, man. Hey, you got to slow down and hit them like three times with it, man. Come on.
I got a bachelor's degree in messing up.
Mm-hmm.
I done stepped in some stuff. I'm 6'7", so and when it get knee high, that's pretty deep. I got a master's in making excuses. I have a shirt on right now that says my why is greater than my why not. I'm gonna say that again. My why is greater than my why not. That why not, those my why nots are excuses. We all can find them. Some of them are legit, but if you want to be successful in life, man, you have to find your why and you have to hold on tight and you have to believe in that why. Because, man, I'm talking about, man, it's been days where I had 100 my why nots. I'm like, man, either one of them was good, but I said, no, my why. I know why. And then I said, man, I got a PhD, not being responsible, man, for my actions. So it's time to stand up, be responsible, and take accountability for your life, man, because nobody's going to give you anything. Now, people will assist you, but nobody's going to give you anything. And the big guy upstairs, in the book of James, it says, faith without works. I think a lot of people get that confused and they pray and they believe, and then they sit and they chill and they waiting on God, and God like, I'm waiting on you. It say faith without works. So it's that action. You got to get up and you got to do something. You can't pray for something and then don't do the work, because what happens is the opportunity comes and you're not prepared because you weren't in, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't doing actionable steps. You weren't doing things that would allow you to be ready when that opportunity comes. And we never know when he's going to drop that opportunity on us. Just think if Chip would have called all of us and our lives was in disarray. We would have had to tell him no, and we wouldn't be on this call. Thank God that we all were in a good place, and we were at a time in our life where we could say, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility for this, because I know that the impact that we're going to have and the influence that we're going to have on the people that read this book is going to change the world.
It is.
Boom.
Boom.
Yes, sir.
Man, whoever's listening to this right now, I know you're thanking me because you took my advice before we even started this, that you got your pen and your paper. If you didn't, it's okay. Go ahead and pause it. You can come back, catch the replay, get your pen and your paper, because each and every one of these men are like Randy Savage right now, coming off the top rope, hitting you with the elbow with knowledge, wisdom, powerful stories. And again, man, I'm chipped in. You already know I'm chipped in, and I just got to pity back off of that, man. I gotta gas you up a little bit more, Chip, because when I first moved here to Texas, I wasn't here a hot week without Chip reaching out to me, wanting to connect. You know what I mean? And even before I moved here to Texas, my man Don Brightman out in DC, he introduced me to Chip, and he was he's a stand-up guy himself, a powerful individual. Check him out, Going North podcast, whoever's listening. But he connected me to Chip, and ever since then, with that first conversation with him, I knew this is a guy I have to be around. So, man, I just had to circle back around and put that bow on top of that present for Chip. Man, like, thank you for believing in me, man, even when I didn't believe in myself at the beginning on this journey. So, man, I just have to give due where it's due. So,
thank you so much, man. I think too, and I've talked about this before. I think the beauty of it, just like Jamal said, I think the beauty of it is every person that's involved in this project understands that they're blessed to be a blessing. You know, they know how they fit in what they do. And what I mean by that, acronym guy, okay, they have amazing focus on what they do and how they do what they do. They have pure intentions, the I, fit, right? They have pure intentions and pure actions. And the T, they have great talents, but they don't just have great talents, but they use them in the proper way to help others. And that's truly, you know, in that, like I said, they know how they fit, and truly that's an impact of influence right there, man.
Dude, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. And do I have permission to put you guys on the hot seat for a minute?
Let's get it.
I'll put you on the hot seat. I know the audience want to know more about you. I personally want to know more about each and every one of you. I definitely love what I already know, but again, I'm gonna put you guys on the hot seat. I got some questions. I'm gonna be starting in the top left with my man A-Town, and then we're gonna kind of venture off. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So this first question, if you had one superpower, what would it be? Man, Anthony.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Oh man.
Woo. That's good.
Yeah.
Do I need to come back to you?
Mine.
What happened to the softball, Chaz? What happened to the softball?
I thought that was.
You definitely put it on the hot seat, man.
Yeah, mine's easy. This one, it's simple to me, and I do this thing when I speak to groups and when I meet people, and I say, I ask them the same question: do I have your permission to tell you the truth? Because that allows me to have real engagement with them. And with that, my superpower is love, and what I would want to do with it is to give people the ability to see how much everybody else loves them. There's always that regret of thinking we're imposters or we don't belong or we're not appreciated, we're not loved, but none of that's true and it gets lost. So my superpower is love. It's the greatest power source in this universe, and we all have it, even when we forget. And I like to tell people, I'm here to love you even when you forget to love yourself.
I like that. I love that.
Okay, I'm back now. Thank you, DP, for jump starting the brain, man. And but Chaz, that's definitely a hot seat question, man.
Yeah.
So,
man, I should have cooled it down a little bit.
Now, I think my superpower, if I could have a superpower, I think it would be to go into areas and spread purpose. And if for instance, if I'm in the hood or wherever I'm at, I don't care if I'm sitting in a board meeting, to be able to feel and have a spirit of discernment to know that somebody needs to recognize they got purpose and just go boom, purpose. To spread purpose, to spread joy, just purpose, to let somebody know that you're not here all willy-nilly. You're here for a reason. It just wasn't no Big Bang theory. Two vessels came together. I don't care how it happened, but two people came together and made this beautifully and wonderfully made baby. And like I said, I don't care how it happened, but there is a reason why you are here, and not merely exist. I'm like Jamal said it earlier, praying and just sitting there and not doing anything, and God waiting on. It's like driving a car with 4 flat tires. You ain't going nowhere. All you gonna be able to do is just sit there and mash the gas. Right. So I think my superpower would be, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes, superpower, Anthony, purpose. And have a big P on my chest. Purpose, man.
I like it.
Super purpose.
Yeah.
So are we going around, or you got a different question?
What we got, Vic? You guys got something going?
As I think about it, I think I wish I was able to have others see through my eyes, especially those that I work with. And I work with a lot of college athletes. That's kind of my niche and where I've spent the majority of my time. And what's crazy about it is you think that a college athlete is completely confident, invested in themselves, have incredible self-worth. But the thing is, they really don't. There are so many pressures being put on the females and the males involved in sports, especially at the collegiate level. I just want to tell them, man, if you could only see what I see, I'm telling you, your perception would change. You have to take some of the stuff off your shoulders and realize it's not about anybody else. It's about you. It's about your happiness. It's about living a fulfilled life. You earned the opportunity. God gave you a gift. Now it's your privilege to do it, but more importantly, you have to be an ambassador with that gift, and you've got to set the example in everything you do. And I love hearing the great stories about athletes. I love hearing about the kind heart. I love hearing about the gratitude they have and giving back, because sometimes we get so caught up in the bad apple, we forget about the 99 others who are working their tails off just to fulfill a dream. And what I explain to them is you first have to have a complete understanding of what gratitude is. Too many of us think that gratitude is outward in. Somebody's saying things to us. Oh, thank you, man. I have so much gratitude for you saying those kind words to me. That's not gratitude to me. Gratitude, in my opinion, is inward out. It's what I offer to others. It's what I'm willing to sacrifice for others. It is an intentional act without wanting anything in return. And once you realize that gratitude is completely in your control, life can change You can reframe the narrative real quick. And I'll go back to how I started. If I could just let people know I see something, or your coach sees something, or your teammate sees something in you, and for some reason you're clouded, and you got to open your mind up. You got to become self-aware. I think that could change so many people's lives, and they realize they have a purpose and their worth is undeniable and unmatched.
That's beautiful. I really like how you dived into that. You know, that self-awareness is deep. You know, having the ability to see yourself for who you truly are. And I know you men agree, when you see yourself for who you truly are, you know, you provide that fruit, right? That you're serving that fruit, that fruit of the spirit, that love and that joy, peace and patience, that kindness, that goodness, that faithfulness, that gentleness, and that self-control. So that's really good stuff. And for me, that's a definition of gratitude, you know, getting in deep and understanding that, hey, we are here to serve in our area of gifting and to provide that gratitude and accept that gratitude wholeheartedly, for sure. And I know you guys said
right up there, you see up there on top of the wall, that's my gratitude. Every time I walk in this office, that's the first thing I see. And I know, okay, that's my word, and it's never going to go away. And it gets me into a singular focus to where I reframe the narrative, no matter what kind of day I think I'm about to have.
Beautiful. Let's throw the softball pitch. I know I came at you guys, everybody. Let's throw the softball. What's a big pet peeve for one of you guys? My man Chip, you got one? A big pet peeve? Your biggest pet peeve?
I think when you look at pet peeves, I strive to be really focused, you know, and caring for others, you know, and value my time and others' time, you know. And so I think a pet peeve for me is, you know, being around people that don't have concern for others, that think it's about them, that you know, don't understand that it ain't about you. You know, it's about what you can do to help others. I think that's one of the things in my life that's not too much gets me. You know, I'm pretty easy guy. But I think if anything, you know, mistreat you like that, TP. You know, I think you know, just having somebody like mistreat somebody else, that's not good. That's not good for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Derek?
Some people would define it as hate, but I define it as fear. People that live and work in fear means that you have no faith or belief or anything to tether to. That if all things I do have to start from my heart and they have to finish there. Like that, to me, I can't be afraid of anything if I have faith and trust in the universe and in a God that's greater than I. If I don't understand the plan and I don't understand the mission or the purpose, then my focus is not on those things. So people who work and live from fear, and that often ends up disguised as hate or ignorance. People are afraid to learn. They're afraid to know the truth. They're afraid to be connected. They're afraid to love. All of those things, that fear, I don't hate it. It makes me covet that person. I need to bring them closer to me because it's hard to hate what you know. And I think that's where fear is based. So we get past that wall and get to know each other. We'll be all right. Ain't no need for fear. God and the universe they got us.
I like that. Anybody else want to tackle that one? One of your biggest pet peeves?
I'm close to Chip, man. Like I'm always talking about positivity, that negative vibe, man. That's my pet peeve. Someone that's always trying to turn a situation south. You know, there's hard work going on, and people are in the work. They're in the grind, and someone that's always in there, just, you know, against whatever the process is. It's always coming in with complaining, moaning about something. People are focused on a goal and they're not producing, or they're not showing any type of effort toward the goal. Just bringing that positive energy, that negative energy into a situation. I work with kids every day, and we got to be an example as adults. And then you see kids are reading faces, reading lips, reading moods of adults, and they take that same energy out there when they're dealing with their peers, communicating with their peers on social media or in the classroom or in the hallways or on the weekends. We got to lead, and that negative energy has no place in any environment, man. That is a huge pet peeve of mine, man. There's no reason to be negative. You start positive, man. Every day is a different day. Every day we say it for our kids. We ought to mean that for ourselves as adults as well. Every day is a different day. Why not start with positive energy? So that negative energy, man, that burns me up. That kills me.
Yeah, I resonate with everything you men is talking about.
That's a boom right there.
Yeah,
boom,
boom. Yeah, exactly. And even diving deep. So with that negative energy, it's so easy for us, to put things off, right? It's so easy for us to not be wanting to be held accountable for our actions. Talking about that negative energy, it comes easy to people. It's so easy for you to have a wishing attitude, right? Wishing good things are going to happen, but not taking the actions to make it happen, or to put things off, right? It's so easy for us to fall into that negative energy, but at the same time, we have to be willing to renew our mind and get around, people that's going to promote that positive energy. Right? Meaning getting around people that are ahead of you and understanding, hey, even though you can be in that easy, that complacent lifestyle, we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Pierre said, shared that the other night, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And, that's real key, and understanding, hey, failure is not the enemy, right? Whenever you're working to grind and to get into that positive energy, that's our key for you to understand that, hey, you have greatness within you, and you can renew your mind and strive towards your greatest version of yourselves. So I really resonate with what you guys are sharing there. And let's even dive back into the book, man, on this question. So let's say if you can tell your teenage self today a tip or technique that is in your chapter and the impact of influence, what would you tell yourself being that young man?
I'll jump out at you, Chaz. And you heard my story the other night. And not just my teenage self, but I'd started from the minute I was able to comprehend. And that is live in the present moment. Woods talked about that, outcome as opposed to the process. I think in life, it's the same thing. We could be so focused on the release of the book, or we could be talking about it every day, and then the release just happens, right? Like, we're growing when we're right here. And every time we have the opportunity to get together and talk, Chip's taking notes, I'm taking notes, we're all doing it. We're growing because we are where our feet are, right here, right now. And this is the most magical moment, because I've learned twice in too short of a period that those closest to you can be taken away immediately. And the world's about love, and the world is about relationships. And if you don't value it right at that moment, it may be wasted. It may be a wasted opportunity. And the only way you realize that is when the opportunity is lost.
Love it, man.
I love that.
I'll jump in there.
Anybody want to take it?
Yeah, if you don't mind, here's what's funny, and this is how I know how grand and true and authentic the blessing is. As I listen to you guys, things that I talk about on a day-to-day basis, it being echoed by people that I've never met face to face, people are carrying the same message, and it allows me to know that I've got a team, a squad that I didn't even know about. But the funny thing is that I like a book that I've written, and it's on the shelf, and I've never shared it with anybody, has the title, What Are the Odds? What are the odds that from those grand meetings of 2 great families and 4 great families, 16 great families, and 32 great families, that a kid from Arlington, a kid from Indianapolis, a kid from Houston, a kid from Conroe, a kid from all over the world cross and intersect in a space at a special time. And to just once you recognize and accept that nothing is by chance. You said, what are the odds that all of us, the people on this call, ever meet? And now we're going to meet forever in a place, in a book called The Impact of Influence. And if you don't understand how powerful the universe is, I tell my 10-year-old self, hey, listen, young man, you ain't going to believe the life you lead, man.
It's going to blow your mind, right?
Love it. Love
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Anybody else want to tackle that one?
I'll go, man. I think for me, I think I would tell that dude, man, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, the same things that have helped you so far in your life will be the same things that you will be able to carry on throughout your whole life to help you be successful in your life and impact many. And I can say that now because that's what I've done, right? Like I ain't changed it up. It's been the same. You know, for me, it's, you know, good. It starts with good habits, right? And everything you do, you got to have good habits, and those good habits create routines, right? When you have great routines, those routines establish consistency, all right? And then that consistency builds trust. So what happens is others around you trust you because they know you're dependable. And you have self-trust because you show yourself, oh, I can do it, right? You know, and that's what it's been for me throughout my life. You know, if there's one thing that, you know, I've been asked before, like, you know, what's something that, you know, you go visit the big man that, you know, you would think that somebody would say about you, and without a even blinking, I would say consistency. You know, my hope is that everybody around me know what they're gonna get from Chip Baker. You know, and that's what I would tell young Chip. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah, knowing you though, Chip, and hearing, you know, about your family, I still think your first words were "go get it."
Dude. No, I was gonna go with boom, man.
Or boom.
I was gonna go with boom.
That, and you know, he was wearing that onesie and that handkerchief match. He was just telling,
stop it.
The onesie with the corner pocket. The onesie with the corner pocket for his handkerchief.
We're speaking at daycare.
Oh, man. Good stuff, man. Truly been blessed though, man. Truly been blessed. And I think that's what ignites my fire so much too, is I'm a product of a whole lot of people loving me.
No, they all are.
That's
right.
deep.
You know, and we all are. You know, it's just, you know, even just loving me, period, regardless, even if I felt like I wasn't deserving of it, just loving me and showing me the right way. And we know what that feeling is like. So it's important to just be that impact of influence for others. So I'll let somebody else dive in on that.
That's so deep.
I'll say, if I could tell my younger me anything, I would say recognize your opportunities. Take advantage of your opportunities. And then if I ask me why, because opportunities have an expiration date. I thought I was going to play basketball I broke my knee in 1999. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what life was going to look like without basketball because I never thought about it. And when it became my reality, I heard chips boom. I wasn't 30. I wasn't 40. I was 27 years old in my prime. Just really getting started, starting to figure things out. And now it's all gone. So understand that we all get opportunities. We pray for things and God will present us with something small. It's opportunity. And you don't take advantage of it. And we think that the bus gonna come around 2 times because we got friends or family members who they done got on that bus 2 or 3 times and you think that you got that same ticket. It's all based on your call. So when he presents you with opportunities, man, you got to recognize them. You got to take advantage of them. Then you got to know that they got an expiration date. You know what I mean? You can only keep that milk in your refrigerator so long. It go bad. Same thing with opportunities, man. They ain't gonna last forever. Step up.
Yeah, I gotta come back. I gotta come behind that, Jamal. You just brought it full circle for me. And I told the guys last night, DP on here and Victor, that I was the old head on there last night with my 1965 born date and now working on my dash. But anyway, Jamal, the same thing. And my dad was a standout athlete in his school. And I came to my dad in the 9th grade and said, Daddy, I don't want to play football, man. I want to play in the saxophone, learn saxophone. I love music. He said, do what? You're the biggest one in the school, man. You're going to get your foot on that football field. So I did. And I excelled in football, basketball, and track. And then it turned into the fact that I was a beast. And the last high school game, man, you couldn't even see our numbers on our jersey. It was so muddy. Duke, Florida State, UNC, Tennessee was in the house. I was one-handed. You throw the pass anywhere near me, I was getting it. I was getting up off a play, and my leg got snapped in half. Well, at 55 years old, I just had my whole knee replaced after the 6th knee operation. I would tell my young self, follow your dreams. But at 17 years old, I was given a vision of impact then, and I couldn't believe it. But guess what's happening now? I stayed the course, but it took me 2 overdoses. It took me 2 flatlines, and on the 15th of this month, I'm getting ready to have major back surgery. But I'm still standing, man. I thought sports was going to be my ticket. But I have so many continuing education things and close to my bachelor of psychology. And I walk into county meetings in this area right now, and they say, well, Mr. McCauley, we will let you do this, but you have an associate's degree, and you had a DWI in 1986. I said, I sure did. Can anybody up here tell me I'm forthright about my story? Read The Impact of Influence in a couple of weeks when it comes out. You can get a copy and pre-order it right now. Or you can read Setback for the Comeback. But Jamal, we right where we need to be, man.
Amen.
And I used to be ashamed of all that I went through. Now, to the rest of the guys that hasn't heard, in between all of that, now I'm still on my dash. I ain't hit the end date yet. I don't even know what it is. In between all that, I don't even know what happens what happened in my 30s. I would tell myself then, reconsider, man. Don't go to that party. And I partied for 30 years. But thank God that I'm in my right mind, my intelligence, the creativity that God has given to me, I tapped into it. When my father passed 3 years ago, he said, man, don't you take care of the family? I'm the elder son. I'm the oldest son. At one time, he told me to change my last name because I was not representing the family. When my father passed, I said, Dad, I'm just going to live an ordinary life, man. He said, how dare you? He said, you extraordinary. I seen you sit in my living room and write a book, man. And when my father passed, all the men in the neighborhood would come by and say, your dad was my mentor, man. So I'm still doing the same thing he was doing to the date, man. So Jamal, God bless you, man. All the rest of them, man. You know what? We right where we need to be, man. We right where we need to be, man.
Yeah.
Dude, man, hearing you guys talking about sports, it made me even think about back when I was in college, my freshman year. You know, I was one hour, one day away from coming back home because of that football camp. I was not prepared at all. Like I went into that summer thinking that, hey, you know, I can get back in shape on time, thinking it was just like high school, but it was a game changer. Like my body has never even went through any of that turmoil that I felt when I stepped on that football camp or that college
Tell
camp.
him, Chip.
Hey, man.
Dude,
Tell him,
like,
Chip.
I remember my whole body was sore, man. Only thing that wasn't sore on my body was my earlobes. And I was calling back home like, Grandma, I'm coming home, Grandma. Like, I ain't staying up here. I go to Job Corps. I get a job anywhere. I'm not going to stay. But I say that to say this, man, long story short, and it kind of resonated with back what Chip was talking about, the routine, consistency, the trust, and my man, Mr. Me Too, talking about recognizing your opportunities. My coach, Kent Briggs, man, he kind of saved my career, along with my grandma telling me, boy, you ain't coming back here. I don't know if you're going to stay. You better have some money to get your own place because you ain't going to stay here. But, man, I remember this. He was about 6'3", 6'4", tall, white guy. He used to wear this big straw hat, and he had this red and white horn that he would walk around the field saying this quote, man. And it'll all come together and make sense when I share it and what helped me get through that sore, that pain. He said, pain is temporary, giving up is forever. Pain is temporary, giving up is forever. And I tell you, man, when I began to focus on that and understand that, hey, I might be going through pain. Maybe there's somebody listening to us right now that's, you know, going through a trial or tribulation that they don't know how they're going to get out of, that, you know, they had a situation that happened back in their childhood that they're still struggling with in their adulthood. But pain is temporary, giving up is forever. This group of men here and what we have created is one of those stepping stones that help us overcome that pain, because there was pain within the creation of this book, if it makes sense. So for me, you know, taking that quote, what he would say 50 to 100 times of practice and dialing in and recognizing that, hey, I was looking at that whole camp and breaking it down into manageable pieces. Like, hey, pain is temporary, giving up is forever. Let's not give up for this one day. And then as you wake up for the next day, let's not give up on this day. So I say that to say this, we all have our story. We've been harping on stories and how, you know, you have a voice wherever you are. No, I truly believe that no one is too small to be a difference maker right now, regardless your age, your gender, your race, what your occupation, how much money you make, how much money you don't make, whatever situation that you're in. No matter how many people has written you off, said that you will never achieve, said that you are dumb, no one in your family has accomplished anything that you have or what you're spoken of, whether it's a book, getting that degree, going back out and doing amazing things, that what God has put on your heart. But no one is too small to be a difference maker. And we got to allow that pain to not be empty, because it's not empty. There is a seed inside of that pain. And once you get around good people to help you water that pain, it's going to flourish into something that's going to be impactful for other people to help them come out of their pain. So pain is temporary, giving up is forever. And guys, man, you guys bringing up the sports, man, Coach Kent Briggs, man, him telling me that during that moment of adversity in my life, something that, you know, I haven't experienced, that helped get me through. So I pray that whoever's listening to us right now and what all these men have shared thus far, that you're able to take and apply to your life. But man, that's really good stuff, man. I appreciate you guys.
Chaz, I want to throw something on that.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You talked about, you said that moment. And I believe that we all have moments, and it's being aware enough to recognize them, but to be a person of influence, we can help others recognize those moments in case they can't see. And when I hear you know, Jamal, and when I hear Anthony talk, I'm thinking to myself, those trials and tribulations and what they had to go through and the adversity that they had to face created the men that they are today. What would they be without that? Would they be able to influence others? See, now when I hear them talk, I think they've taken it as an obligation to elicit the greatness in others, because for a long time they didn't feel it in their own heart. And maybe it was a moment that things started to change. And now what they're doing is paying it forward, recognizing the moment for other people. And simply by writing a chapter in this book, simply by speaking to people and sharing their story, it may be the moment that you're talking about, Chaz, and we don't know when it is. So, you know, to Charles's point, we're on stage every day of our lives. And if we don't represent, and if we don't hold ourselves to a tremendous level of character and integrity, we may not only miss our moment, but somebody else's moment.
Wow.
He'll say it.
Yeah,
I see that.
Dude, man. I tell you what, Chip slogan, man, it stuck in my head for some reason, man. I keep on just saying boom. Like,
boom.
Yeah, we've all seen that text.
Man, boom. Dude, I need like an animated font to just pop up every time you guys speak boom. You know, you remember the old Batman? That's good stuff.
TP,
man.
you had something?
Hey, Chaz. Hey, I was just going to say, I was just sitting here, I was just thinking, there was a poem that Maya Angelou wrote that simply said, I know why the cage bird sings. And I was just sitting here and I was just thinking about, you know, all of us, man, you know, it just seems like, man, we've never stopped dreaming, despite the obstacles, the circumstances, the hand that we've been dealt in life. We've never stopped dreaming, even though in that certain season that dream didn't come to pass then, but we kept on believing, we kept on praying, we kept on pushing ourselves, you know, even though we made mistakes. And, you know, I mean, you know, none of us are perfect. I mean, you know, none of us have arrived, I should say. We're all, as Paul says, we're all pressing towards the mark for the prize of high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. So, man, I would just, if there was something I could share with my younger self, I would just tell myself, don't sell yourself short. You have what it takes. You know, I remember when I was kind of younger, just being realistic with you guys, I would try to, man, I was, you know, hey, man, maybe if I be like this guy or this person, that maybe, you know, I'll be able to fit in this crowd, or maybe if I, you know, talk like this or say this or, you know, do this, you know, I'll be able to, you know, have some kind of impact and influence. But my grandmother would always tell me, she said, man, just be yourself, be who God has called you to be. And I just sit here and I think about is that's one of the things I think that God is really calling us to be. And I see it through this book, is that he's looking for some original, authentic, realistic cats, you know. And, you know, why be a copycat? Because everybody else is already taken. The world needs an Anthony. The world needs a Chaz. And the world needs a Mr. Boom and all that, you know. But, man, just be yourself, and people will grow to learn and appreciate you. And those that are not meant to stay in your life, you know, that you don't have to worry about dissing them. You know, they'll fall off, because as you go higher, they won't be able to breathe, because of as you go higher, the elevation, the air will be so thin that they'll just fall off on their own. And I've learned that, you know, I used to always think like, man, I can't share my dreams with this person, that person. But I've learned to just share your dream with people, because, you know, some people would doubt, some people will believe in you, some people will support you, some people like, man, you know, dude, look where you come from. Look at the statistics, your neighborhood. You don't have the right credentials. You don't have the right, you know, last name behind your name and different things. But I guarantee you, man, if you share your dream with people, you know, either you will inspire them, you will encourage them, or some people be like, you know, nah, it's not going to happen. But then one day when that dream comes to pass, they can be like, you know what? That dude used to say all the time that he was going to do this and he was going to do that. Man, I knew that dude. And you know how it is, you know, when he's like, hey, I know that person. Man, you don't know that person. Or you think about it coming to America.
Look, I got a picture
when
with
it
him,
was in
man.
that
We was on a
barbershop
Zoom
scene.
call. Look. I had him on my show.
When he talking about he knew Martin Luther King when it's that barbershop scene, or when he talking, Mama call him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. but man,
TP,
guys,
TP, you ain't never met no Terrence Price.
You ain't never met no Martin Luther King.
I did.
But guys, man, I just want to encourage us, and as I encourage you guys, I encourage myself, man. Let's continue to keep speaking life into ourselves, and not just ourselves, but into each other. Man, I can't even tell you guys what the last night's call and tonight's call is doing for me. It's making me to dig deeper on the inside and be like, hey, there's more in you, TP, that needs to come out. But it's only going to come out, as the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. So you guys are on a certain level that I'm not on. So there's no need for me to get jealous or to throw shade or to, oh man, they think that this and that. No, you guys are the real deal. And so even though my dream may not has not come to pass in the season, and your dream is being manifest in the season, it makes no sense for me to be jealous or envy. But I'm like, hey, let me, like Chip, man, let me take 5 pages of notes. Let me learn some things from you guys and apply it into my life. Because as Chip has always say, man, we have all been blessed to be a blessing. And so, man, Mary J. Blige said it. No, let's no negative energy, man. Let's keep spreading that those positive vibes, and just want to encourage y'all, man. Just continue to be yourself, man. I'm loving hearing these stories, because a lot of times you're like, man, maybe my story won't mean anything or won't make an impact, but I'm just sitting here, dude, and I'm a dark skinned dude. You can't see the tears coming down my face right now, but I'm literally in tears and just encouraged, uplifted, and impacted by all of you guys' stories. And so, man, I just want to encourage you guys. If nobody's told you before, you guys have what it takes, and you are doing some things on some big levels. And yeah, just keep going, man. Whatever you do, don't stop. Keep going. As Martin Luther King said, if you got to crawl, if you got to walk, but whatever you do, don't give up, man. Don't give up. Keep pushing, man, because the best is truly is to come for all of us. So,
amen.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
dude, thank you so much for sharing that.
Hey, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Not the only one.
Hey, man, and I say that because as I hear you guys talk, man, same sentiments, TP, like you're saying, man, like we have to, those that may be watching or listening, we have to surround ourselves with dreamers and believers, people that dream. TP talked about my guy, Martin Luther the King, the King.
You don't know Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther the King. But he had a dream, and so when you surround yourself with dreamers, those people believe in your dream, right? But then more than that, they help you achieve your dream too, right? And this is so evident of that. Everything that's gonna come from this. I go back to the value, like everybody on here adds amazing value, but the things that will come from this is we will be able to help change the world. We will be able to achieve every one of our goals that we have because we are all connected, and it's just going to continue to overflow. Our cup, will runneth over, and we will be able to pour and invest into whoever, wherever, whatever. And I think I said this when we start, it ain't no limit.
Yeah.
Here's where we are, and it's so funny. We talk about we need to be around dreamers, and we talk about that journey, right? That moment. And remember, I was supposed to pass away 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. I was supposed to be gone. The chaplain was talking to everybody. I didn't even know my name. I didn't know my last name until I was 57 years old. I didn't know that I had 3 more brothers and 2 more sisters. I didn't know if I had left the earth 3 years ago when I thought my time was, I wouldn't have a TED Talk, let alone 2 TED Talks, let alone this book, let alone a radio show in Lincoln, Nebraska. And it hit me, and my brother, the pastor, says it to me all the time. He says, embrace your dreams, but understand this. Your dreams ain't nothing compared to what God has planned for you.
Right.
Come on.
Like I could never in my wildest dreams even begin to imagine this collection of us, this life that we live. But I'm supposed to dream small until God allows me to dream big. And what he had in store for all of us was never us at our lowest moment. It was never us at our barest moment. It was never us at our emptiest. It was never us at our poorest. What he has planned for us is so much bigger than what we can ever dream for ourselves. So that's what I get from it.
Wow.
Dude.
Hey, Chaz, can I
It's
say
so
something
powerful,
else?
man. It is so powerful. Go ahead, TP.
Hey, I was just in here and man, I'm be honest with you guys, I was really debating if I was gonna say this or not. And I just feel like the Lord wants me to say this because I really feel like right now there's somebody that's wondering how your vision or your dream is going to be financed. Man, late summer, early fall of last year, man, I was praying and just talking through some things and with my wife and about, where I saw ourselves, within the next couple of months and the next couple of years. And before I could say amen, man, my phone goes off. And, man, I looked over, it was a text message from a guy back home, influential guy back home in Bryan College Station, a well-known business guy. And he sends me this text saying that he's on this tractor out in this pasture, just shredding and mowing. And he said that he had to turn the tractor on because somebody was talking to him. Nobody was out in the pasture. So he was like, okay, God, either the animals talking or like I'm going crazy. And then he said, man, LOL, it must have been the spicy Mexican food I ate last night. And so long story short, he was just saying, hey, man, you on my heart. Your family has, made a tremendous impact on our family's life. And he said, I really feel like that there's something in you that needs to come out. But he said, I really feel like you're walking in fear and doubt. And he says, I want to encourage you, whatever that is. He said to step out on faith and to trust God. Man, guys, I've been blessed to serve as assistant chaplain at Texas A&M and to serve head W with football and men's basketball teams and do some great things. But just having someone reach out like that, doesn't know anything about my situation, doesn't know anything that I've been praying about, and to say, hey, you know what, there's something in you that needs to come out. I felt like I had arrived when I was at A&M. I felt like I had arrived when I was at WU, but my grandmother would always tell me, whatever you do, don't stop learning, don't stop growing. There's so much more in you. And there's more on my vision board that I want to accomplish. But he said, there's something in you that needs to come out. You're pregnant with possibilities. You're pregnant with purpose, with destiny, with future. And he said, think about your son's legacy. And he said, I don't know what it is that you're trying to do. He said, but whatever you're trying to plant and get off the ground, he said, if you can share with me the number that you need financially, he said, my family and I want to bless you guys with it. So I was like, hold on, man. He sent this to the wrong person. I texted back and I said, was this for me or was it for somebody else? And he said, no, this is for you. And so I showed my wife and my wife was like, wow. And she said, have you mentioned to anything to him about it, what you're wanting to do? And I said, no, nobody. I said, babe, at the moment, nobody but you, and God knew about it. And so he texted me and said, hey, he said, whatever number that is, he said, don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. He said, I want to support or to help your vision get off the ground. And he said, whatever amount of money that is, he said, just text it to me and my family and I will want to sow that into your life. Wow. And so, guys, I said that not to brag and to boast, but I shared that to tell about the goodness of the Lord. And he's no secret. I mean, he's no respecter of person. My grandma, I could hear her right now. She said, God is no respecter of person. What he's done for one, he'll do the same for others. So somebody sitting here on this phone, and I just feel it in my spirit. I'm not a prophet or nothing like that, but I just feel it. Somebody sitting here like, man, how am I going to do it? How am I going to provide for my family? How's the vision, the dream going to be financed, or the 501c3, whatever it is you're trying to do? Man, just trust God. Step out on faith. God already has the person assigned to you that's supposed to help support and finance your destiny and your goal. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that God causes all things to work together for our good and for his glory, according to his purpose. And Ephesians 3:20 says, now to him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask, think, or hope for, according to the power that worketh within us. So guys, I always think about what Chip said. He would tell me back in the day, man, tap into your power, man, tap into to those resources inside of you. But I said all that to say this, guys, just trust God no matter what the situation is. And if you're trying, and let me just say this, if the vision is about you and the dreams is about you, that's not from God. But when you have a true vision from God, it's all about impacting and influencing others. And so, guys, I want to encourage you, man, to just take that step of faith, man. Reach out to a mentor, connect with somebody that, you may be afraid to make that phone call or text. I guarantee if you take the first step, God will make the rest. I'm a living witness. And so, man, I just shared that to encourage somebody. I just really feel like somebody needs to hear that, to know to trust God in all circumstances. He's got it all. So he just wants us to trust him and walk by faith. So
Chaz, you gotta let me jump in. Chaz, you gotta let
that's
me
so
jump
powerful, man.
in. You gotta let me jump in, Chaz.
That is
You
deep.
gotta let me jump in,
deep.
Chaz. Because
dropping gems.
TP,
yes, sir.
That was for me. Because
wow.
my 501c3 has been stagnant because I can't get to the schools with my boys. But in my county, I'm in a county that's 95% white. I know everybody. The white men in my county pour into me. However, when I look at the finances in my budget now, I'm getting ready to go out for 6 months. My wife passed 7 months ago. My rent is paid. Both of my cars outside are paid for. The lights are on. I got internet service. But when I look at it, I can't get in my way because my human mind tells me, man, look at you, man. You getting ready, you got this book coming out. Ain't but 2 people bought the book, what you gonna do for next month's budget? But what happened today was the county called me based off of a judge's recommendation and said, we're getting ready to open a community resource center. We're gonna write you into our grant. Your stipend will be this. And I knew something was going to happen. We need you to zoom in and speak to inmates who are dealing with addictive behaviors, along with the resource center. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I've been trusting, and I've been giving and serving others because I've already tried it my way. But what you just said, when you mentioned 501c3, and this is for somebody, you see the glasses. I'm like DP now. My glasses up.
I see the antennas.
Yeah, so man, thank you for being obedient, for sharing. Chip, every time we do this, man, something pops.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Powerful.
Thank you, man.
Dude,
thank God, man. I thank God powerful. For you, man. TP, thank you,
TP,
man. Thank you, TP.
Man, it's all him, man. It's all him.
For sure. We're, scripture says that we are earthling vessels, right? That we're vessels, the conduits that God can use us to project life into his children. And each and every one of you guys, man, I want to be as authentic as I can when I share this, man. You guys are so deep. I'm so excited to be in your presence, to learn more about you and your story and how it's going to influence each and every person that grabs a hold of this book and everything that you're going to do even after this book in 2021. And like, my man, like we've been sharing this whole time, man, God is not finished with us. There's still breath left in our bodies. So we're going to continue to press forward and do what God is calling us to do. Iron sharpens iron, my man. Anthony, I'm telling you, Proverbs 27:17, we have to hold by that and understand that, hey, as we collectively be around each other to be able to be the fuel so we can go out and fuel others. Each and every one of us has the ability to be human gas stations, right? And gosh, man, like my man Anthony said, TP, man, he just filled him up. TP, hey, my man BP over here, man, he just filled him up so he can go out and contribute and serve his fuel to others. And that's what it's all about. It's all about God and what he can do for us, because he made us fearfully and wonderfully made. And out of everybody on this planet, nobody has your fingerprint. Nobody, man. There's only one of you. And you are unique, and that's what gifting the gift is all about. We're all gifted differently to make a difference, each and every one of us. And I mentioned that we're all earthling vessels, and there's a seed of greatness inside of each and every one of us. I truly believe that. That's what gifting the gift is all about. Physically, we are a gift. And I believe God have put a gift inside of each and every one of us that no one else can duplicate. There might be some similarities, but there's only some people that I'm going to be able to impact, that I'm only going to be able to impact. There's going to be somebody that Mr. Me Too's going to be able to impact that Chaz Jackson's not going to be able to impact. And that seed of greatness in each and every one of you guys are waterers of each and every person out there, seeds who God put in your path. And I want whoever this resonates with, as we're thinking about gifting a gift and watering someone's inner greatness to become that fruit to be able to serve to the world. Can somebody provide an application, an action point for a young man? There's a teacher, there's a parent, there's an educator that's listening right now. As we get ready to lead this episode, this amazing episode out, is there application that you can give on taking advantage of watering that seed of greatness and applying it and bringing that fruit for the world to see, for their generation and that next generation to come? Does anything come to mind for one of you giants?
Chaz, I tell myself this a lot. Be anonymous. And what I mean by that is go do for others, and they don't even need to know it's you. They need to know someone cares.
Amen.
And they need to know someone believes in them. So be anonymous. Too many of us want our name out there. Be anonymous. That's the true gift we have. That's love.
I say lead with good vibes and positivity. Build people up, man. Every day. Build somebody up. Look for somebody, search somebody out, and help somebody through the day. There's always somebody in need, and be that one to build them up, man. Make them feel good, make them feel wanted, make them feel like they can get through the day.
Anybody else got something before we lead this up?
Yeah, love out loud.
Yeah, love out loud.
Love out loud, man.
It's right there on my computer.
Yeah, no, just to the next person that texts you, to the next person that you cross paths with, the last person that you talked to that reached out to you, they sent you the bad signal. See, that's what that text is. It's a bad signal. It says, of all the people in the world, I need you. And you don't want to ever regret carrying the love that was unspoken, unshown, unknown. Love out loud, the very next thing, the last thing, and these are my 3 steps. Love first, love last, and in between, love more.
That's big, man. Thank you guys for sharing that. This has been such a treat. Again, Chip, thanks for orchestrating this thing, getting us all together, and being able to create this value that's going to be going out, launching March 27th, people. So go ahead, pre-orders are available. Get your copy. I look forward to doing more of this again, man. We got to jump on this again, get on Gifting the Gift, and keep inspiring and understanding that, hey, we're all gifted differently to make a difference. And gosh, man, I am just so grateful for each and every one of you, man. I look forward to serving more with you and developing our relationship. And we're going to continue to go out and make the world better than how we found it. So
that's it, Chaz, man. In closing, man, I just want to, encourage the listeners, viewers to go check out each one of these amazing men on their platforms. Each of their platforms, they have, their online link that people can pre-order and purchase the book. So I just ask that, people would go support them, support their movement, share their movements, purchase the book, their signed copies from them. And again, I just want to say, Chaz, man, thanks so much for giving us the opportunity to show some love on your platform.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Amen.
And I want to encourage everybody with these two things. Keep that crown on your heart. And remember this, we are God's echo. I love each and every one of you.
Go get it.
Thank you for listening to GNG Podcast. Remember, you are gifted differently to make a difference. Please visit ChazJacksonSpeaks.org and let's continue to grow together. God bless.